What's up, everybody? Rob Hau. Welcome to Drive Thoughts. Today, I have some thoughts on whether it's foolish to buy in 2022 and this simple hack for getting a lower interest rate. You want to hear more? Stay tuned on the other side. Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Hau, ROCKSTAR Realtor. That makes me the realtor and you the rock star. Woo! You ready to jam with me? Let's jam. All right. So today I wanted to talk about what seems, it's been going around for really the last couple of years, but especially right now because the market has gone so high. And a lot of people will say that it's foolish to buy in 2022, and that the prices are too high with interest rates going up and so on and so forth. That also there could be an oncoming crash coming, and so it would be crazy to buy right now, right? Well, in some respect, I can understand where people would be coming from, especially if you have a situation that is pretty comfortable. You don't really need to leave your home. You're not in a situation where you're renting at exorbitant high rates. I think that is what's incredibly foolish right now for anyone to want to do or have to do. If you're in a high rent situation and you can get yourself into a position where you can buy, 2022 might be your year for a number of reasons, especially if we start getting some more inventory coming on. Although, as you might have seen in my last prognostication, I'm not predicting that inventory is going to come back real soon here. That doesn't mean it'll be as crazy of a market for you to get involved. As I go along and tell you some information I think it's important to know, especially if it comes to fruition. But so if you're in that situation where you want to, get away from renting, it's going to be cheaper to buy, generally speaking. You should be buying. You should be looking at buying, because buying your primary residence, as long as it's something that's manageable, affordable for you, and, especially when compared to renting, then it's not that foolish to consider buying this year at all. Now, I would say investment, that's where you definitely got to be a little bit more cautious. At the same time, we're talking about inflationary conditions going on in the market. So, you might be able to put your money into real estate and hold it there safely. But definitely something you're going to be more cautious about investing wise, because investment is not a property that you need, right? It's a property that you want so that you can get return on your investment. Well, if anything changes, if certain things happen, that could squeeze that situation, and that might not be fun. So purchasing your property for your primary residence, though, as long as you're comfortable with that payment, it's a whole lot better than renting. You're putting yourself into a better position, and you just ride out the waves of whatever happens in the market. Okay. I still think that I will always think that Vegas in the long run is going to be a market that only can rise because of availability of land, and that's on the long term. So again, purchasing primary residence long term, still think that's good. I'm going to go into a little simple hack for you. I'm going to call it a hack because that's what people say things like this are. But a hack for driving down your interest rate. If you're thinking of purchasing, but you're thinking, oh my goodness, these interest rates are going higher. And yes, they're going higher. We will see higher interest rate. We will see a jump in May. They're going to move it up 0.5%. They're talking 0.5% in May. So very shortly after this airs is when you will see another interest rate movement by the Fed. That's the Federal Reserve. And that in turn would signal that mortgage rates would go up just like it did last time. And it'll continue to do that each time they move the rate. But if you're looking to do something about that, ideally the market, it starts to chill out enough to where you don't have to pay above appraisal on these properties. In other words, if it appraises at X amount of dollars and your offer is over that, you'd have to pay this gap. Well, that money can be saved and put towards paying down your interest rate instead. So especially as you climb in the price range and how much you're borrowing, definitely want to get that interest rate down. So a great way to do that is to figure out if it makes sense to buy down the rate. So there's your hack, buy down the rate, and then you can still have a great interest rate of yesterday, basically. We're not going to see those low rates anymore for a long time. So that you could do while they're still relatively low. And actually, we're historically low still and will be throughout this year. Just where most people are used to better rates than what they're seeing. So that's going to take some adjustment by people too. And certainly with higher prices and higher interest rates, you're starting to have, there's a little precipice that we're at there, right? Rates will definitely be a catalyst for change in 2022. That's what I'm, I feel like even my drive thoughts, which they always kind of have been an indication of where my thoughts are going, of course, have become a little bit more like prognostications. This is a very much fun market for me to predict what's happening because there are things happening. Okay, we're not just in a,
still moving up, still going crazy.
No, we're changing. The market is changing. Things that are going to happen in other states are going to be different than what happens in Nevada, in particular Las Vegas and places like Reno. I think we stand to do very well in the long term. Vegas looks like a great landing spot for other places that might get further pinched if we go into the big R word, recession. And people have been continuously looking for places to insulate themselves when they feel like they're getting hit on all ends financially. I wanted to give a little bit of hope of something that might be coming around the corner for certain buyers. The Biden administration has decided to, and they've been wanting to do this, but they've upped the housing and urban developments budget, or they're trying to pass this. I think it will. Really, this is where it gets a little unsure, but some version of this might be happening to where there's going to be they want to put another 12 billion and change into housing and urban development, and then that would actually add up to over 70 billion in housing and urban development's budget. And that budget is going to be set to go towards what he did talk about on the campaign trail. If you remember, he wanted to make it so people could get down payment assistance. Okay. And so if the market starts evening out, in other words, we're not in these historic paces, it starts moving more towards a buyer's market. Maybe it's still going to be a seller's market for a while, but if we start seeing that change, well, sellers will be able to consider or decide to consider those types of loans, those where you're getting down payment assistance. Right now, it's been very tough to get any kind of FHA, Federal Housing Administration loans done because the sellers just aren't accepting them. And so my phone is blowing up today.
I've been a busy man.
So that could put those buyers back on the table. And certainly, as I've just said, getting away from renting and into buying could be extremely important for many people ahead. And if you're getting down payment assistance and you know that the seller's going to accept that, then great. Maybe there's something good ahead for you there that could be coming down the pipe. Now, all of that said, will this in the long term spell out some issues that led us to the 2008 Great Recession, which was, I certainly hope not, but basically it was that, buyers didn't really have a lot of skin in the game when they bought a house. They weren't having to put down payment involved. Of course, those were more like loan programs that were allowing that. that wasn't necessarily a federal, grant program where they're giving you the money for the down payment, but it does sort of spell some concern, out there.
My goodness, if somebody would just stop texting me, that'd be great.
Anyway, that's where I think things are going, and a little bit of information kind of hitting here or there for you guys. But, again, is it foolish to buy in 2022? Well, that is up to you and your situation. I don't think it's foolish in every single way. I certainly think if you're getting away from renting, that's great. I certainly think if you're coming here from another state that's much higher burden on you, that's great, and so on and so forth. So welcome to Las Vegas. I hope you find a home here ASAP. And of course, now you know how when you need a realtor. Rockstar Realtor Rob Howe. That makes me the realtor, you the rock star. So if you're ready to get on tour to find your home or hit the stage and put your home in lights, I'm your man. Contact me anytime at this number below. Just text YouTube to this number and let's chat. Thank you guys. Have a great day and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.